So the Belgian plans, Belgium didn't really had any plans. Belgium was supposed to be a neutral state, a neutral country at the time. So the only two plans that I could really think of were the defense of Flanders and on occupied Belgium, and the protection of the Belgian Congos while helping the Allies in Central and East Africa. So the Belgian Congos fought between 1914 to 1916-17 was the attempt to drive out German East Africa and their remaining possessions such as Togoland, Zimbabwe, which is now today's Zimbabwe, and all other modern African countries, because back in those times a colonial power would just group up a number of nations into one big colony, like the colony of South Africa, even though that's mostly its own country, but it had Zimbabwe incorporated into it, and German Southwest Africa, which is now part of Zimbabwe, which the South Africans annexed. But this is not Britain, this is not about South Africa, this is about Belgium. And they don't really have plans because they're not supposed to be invaded. They're supposed to be a neutral country like Luxembourg and Liechtenstein and all those other border countries that German used the sleeping plan on. So I could not really find a Belgian plan per se. So the only two plans they had was the protection of Flanders. They flooded out Flanders to protect it from being German occupied. So they kind of did a scorched earth policy, but at the same time they flooded out the countryside so Germans won't occupy it. So it's a win-win if they do take it in the end. Also, the Congo expedition, the Congolese forces, were to take German East Africa and give it over to the British and French. They were supposed to help the British and French in German East Africa, and they were supposed to chase down Von Lettow Borbeck in southwest Africa. That's basically all. The Belgians were basically on a defense from the siege of Namur to the siege of Antwerp to the siege of Liège. It was all about defense. It was all a very defensive posture. I was going to try and do the Battle of Liège, but it didn't work because it's actually a very famous battle. It actually stopped the Germans from gaining any ground for at least 4 or 5 days, putting a gap in the sleeping plan and giving the French and British enough time, and some Belgians, at the Battle of the Marne. So that's pretty much a famous battle, and the Battle of Namur is a very defensive battle as well. It's a fortified city, so attack and defense. So there was not really much plan that I could really get from Belgium. There was no Plan 19, no sleeping plan, no Plan 17, no British Plan XX. So there was no real plans for the Belgians because, like I said, they're pretty much a neutral country. But as they got into war, they did have a defensive posture in both the country and the colonial territory, or even territories. I think they got some reparations from China. Not too sure, but every European has some reparations from China. Even Austria-Hungary had a little slice of the Chinese pie, or Chinese Xingdao Wei Shuo Huao. So that's basically it for Belgium. Sorry I couldn't really do anything much, but Belgium was basically on a defensive posture at home and in the colonies, so there was nothing really much for Belgium to do. So it's mainly a defensive posture, but I promise you there's going to be something better tomorrow, and it's going to be good. The best video you have ever seen. The 11th Battle of the Asondo, which is a prelude to the 12th, or aka the Battle of Caporetto. There's no real Asondo River, and the coast is the Empire's Edge, which is the map near the Adriatic coast, is a bit big to be a river, but I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make Monte Grappa and the Adriatic coast work. Yeah, it'll make it work, kinda. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Belgium on the defensive at home and at the colonies, and that's basically the Belgian plan for most of the war, to keep on the defensive, minimal attacks, try not to help the British and the French war effort because they're never supposed to be in the war in the first place, and pretty much just keep stability at home, where they do have unoccupied Belgium left, which is mostly in Flanders, on the coast near Zeebrugge and stuff like that. So hopefully I can speak Dutch next one, because I think we have heroes and generals to do. So I might do Andre Koppin, famous Belgian ace, and I might do a general. I can't remember his name, everything is in Dutch, but I will try and learn it better for next week, I promise. So that's basically a defensive posture at home and in the colony. Sorry, this was a short one and kind of a rambly one, but that's all Belgium did. Just defense, 100-day offensive, and that's basically it. So I hope you learned something. GG. Hope you learned something.